The next one says, healing includes so much random crying. Let it out. It's just good to be reminded of that, isn't it? It's just good to be reminded that healing, it can sound very, oh yeah, healing, it's lovely. But it can be quite ugly, ugly crying, the big snot ball crying, the big sobbing, the big ugly face crying. That is also healing. And different people do it in different ways. Like when I was training craniosacral therapists, it can be a bit easy to get attached to when something is releasing, a big emotional thing is releasing. As a student, you can kind of go, oh, if it isn't a big sob fest, it's not really a good release. And it doesn't necessarily work like that, because you have people come in and yes, they're very cathartic. Maybe they're used to crying. Maybe it's not hard for them to do it. But then you get other people, the cliche being, the big burly builder guy. He's lying on the table and you can feel there's something releasing. And there's nothing going on the surface, He could even be talking to you and it's all, 4x2s and hammers, and you'd never know there was a big release going on inside him. But there might be one little tear coming out of the side of his eye, and that one little tear is just as powerful and packed full of the same kind of emotion as somebody who's quite used to crying. So I think once you kind of know that crying is part of healing, and that if it's there and if it's appropriate, to sort of not hold back, to just let it out and to kind of go, yeah, this is all part of me healing, and it's beautiful, even though it looks a bit, even though it can look like ugly crying. Ugly crying is probably the most beautiful kind of crying, really, in a way, because it's uninhibited. It's like unstoppable. It just comes up from your toes, these big retching sobs. And really that cliche of better out than in, it's so true, because repressed tears become acid inside, and they become corrosive. They cause all sorts of trouble on the inside. So knowing that healing includes a lot of crying, it's helpful, because then when the tears come, you welcome them as for what they are, which is like it's releasing. Something's releasing in a beautiful way.